It's my birthday. I mean, at least when you see this video. I might still be 23 filming this, but when you see the video, I'll be 24, I promise. I had to film this a little early because I'm very busy and I'm filming an actual video on my birthday. It's gonna be a vlog of the party. I'm doing a Game of Thrones themed party, okay? And I'm gonna be vlogging that, so look forward to that. But for my birthday, one of the videos I wanted to make is just super creative. No one's ever done it before. A Q&A.
Wow.
Trailblazing. Honestly, no one's ever thought to do that before. So I asked you guys to ask me some questions, and this is what we got, so let's get into it. Genuinely, can I go to a Comic-Con cosplay event with you sometime? I'd absolutely love to see a new side of fan culture I've never seen before with my bestie. Molly, absolutely. Now, just to clarify, I'm not gonna go off to events with random strangers, but I know Molly. Molly and I are friends. I will go with you, Molly. Absolutely. If we're ever in the same town, ever at the same event, hit me up. Send me a text. I'll be there. Happy birthday! Thank you. My question is, what is your most favorite 21 Pilots song live? Oh, goodness me. I feel like there's so many. I love Car Radio, obviously. Heavy Dirty Soul, just the bass, the boom, insane. Just rattles your skull. It's crazy. Your entire skeletal system just gets ran through. Hey, Jumpsuit was also really, really good. Trees, you know, a given. I don't know, those are all really good answers and I can't pick, but if you want one answer, I'm going with Car Radio. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I did get a couple of lists of questions to answer. I don't have to answer them all, and they clarified that, but I'm going to, because I don't leave, no stone is going to be left unturned, okay? If you're curious about something about me, I'm going to answer. I'm going to provide, all right? Happy birthday. Love that. What's your favorite song to drum? I feel like that changes so frequently. Every song that I'm currently trying to learn is my favorite song to play. A lot of Green Day songs are fun to play. A lot of Foo Fighters songs are fun to play. A lot of 21 Pilots songs are fun to play. I feel like the song that I'm playing the most kind of is just like a warm-up, or if I'm just wanting to play something, is Heavy Dirty Soul. Kind of repetitive, I know, but I feel like that's kind of subconsciously probably my favorite song to play. What's your favorite 21 Pilots album? Vessel. Vessel, my baby, no question. Who are your top 5 singers or bands? I'll just give you 5 in no particular order. Okay, well, the first one's 21 Pilots. We can say that one's in particular order. I also really like Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, that whole thing. Joan Jett is also really amazing. I'm really into Sleep Token lately. And then, in honor of them being on Fortnite today, I'll throw Gorillaz in because I really like Gorillaz. And they're on Fortnite, and I'm really excited about that. Although I'm realizing a lot of people don't know who Gorillaz are. There's people on Twitter that's referring to them as one person. Ah yes, my favorite singer, John Gorillaz. Will you do an updated lore video once Breach drops? Yes, absolutely. That's always been the plan. That lore explanation video is probably the best video on my channel. It's still doing really, really well. Unfortunately, there's a lot of outdated information on it, and I'm kind of spreading misinformation at the moment. It kind of sucks because I posted that video and then Clancy immediately wrecked everything, so it's just kind of been sitting there and being wrong for a long time now. I thought that I was just gonna wait. I didn't do anything during Clancy, and I'm just gonna wait until Breach ends, and so I can be sure that we have the full story, and then I'll make an updated video. So yes. Which songs are you most excited for on Breach? It was Drum Show, just because I'm a drummer, and it's amazing, amazing song. I feel like I'm gonna go with Raw Fear, and I'm gonna go with Robot Voices. I'm probably excited for those. I'm excited for the entire thing, but Robot Voices especially, because I'm like, who's the robot? What are we talking about? Torchbearer or Clancy? I might get people mad. I'm gonna go with Clancy. I'm going with Clanky. Just because I think black and red are cooler colors than green and yellow. And he looks like a cat. He's got cat ears. So I think I'm gonna go with Clanky. That feels wrong to say. That feels wrong to choose. Favorite 21 Pilots era? I'm gonna go with Blurry Face. I don't care what people say. I don't know if that's like overrated. I don't really care. You can call her cringe, you can call her overrated, but it was really cool. It was just a really cool era. The Contract or Drum Show, easily. Even though I like both of those songs, but Drum Show might be one of my favorite 21 Pilot songs of all time. Like, it's up there with Car Radio. It's an amazing song. Do you watch other channels in the music video space? If so, what are some of your favorite channels? Happy birthday, Leighton. Thank you so much. So I'm going to give you a really boring answer. Unfortunately, there's no specific person that I really go to. If I'm curious about an album or I'm curious about a specific topic in music, I normally just search that up, or I'll find it in my recommended and I think something's interesting and I'll just watch that. It doesn't really matter who's making the video, so I don't really have specific channels. But I do watch music. Obviously, I do watch those videos, but no specific person. My bad. Happy birthday. Yours is just 6 days after mine. Happy birthday to you. Anyway, my question is, if you were driving down the street and listening to Next Semester and saw a kid on the road, would you scream, "Hey kid, get out of the road," and swerve out of the way before you hit the kid just because Next Semester is a banger? What if I just hit the gas and kept driving? Then what? That's really mean. I'm sorry. Happy birthday. A few months ago, I suggested to you a few K-pop groups to listen to and was just wondering if you listened to any of them. P.S. Happy birthday again. Thank you for the double happy birthday. Yes, I have been on the K-pop grind. Absolutely. I don't know why I got presidential there, but absolutely been on that K-pop grind. I feel like out of the list you sent, Blackpink's my favorite. I've been on that Blackpink grind. If you were on an island and you had one album to listen to for the rest of your life, what would that album be? I posted a video about this a long time ago, actually. It was like the top 5 albums I'd bring to a deserted island. Oh, I had 5, but now I just have to pick one. I am going to go with an album that was not in that video. And I'm going to say Clancy. Just because 21 Pilots have been there for me during rough parts in my life, and if I'm going to be on a deserted island, I feel like that's going to be a tough situation, so I need my emotional support, you know what I mean? And I feel like Clancy's hype enough that I can, not get too in the feels, but I can still, get kind of lit on that island as well. So emotional support, but then also kind of like a party album. Calling Clancy a party album is crazy. What song off Breach do you think would be Josh's Drum Island? I'm going to go with Drum Show, just because it's kind of the obvious answer. And as I talked about in that reaction video, I feel like it's written to be a Drum Island song. It just sounds very familiar to what he kind of does on the Drum Island, so I'm going with Drum Show. This may sound cheesy, but you really are a blessing from God to this world and to us. Oh, thank you so much. Anyways, I'd ask, how was growing up for you like? Was it ever hard to make friends or dealing with any bullies? If so, how did you deal with it? We love you. Well, thank you so much for that sweet comment. You're just like getting into my childhood. You're like, so what about your childhood? What went wrong? We're seeing this. We're seeing how you turned out. What went wrong? What was your origin story like? So my childhood was normal. Thank you so much for asking. My parents didn't split until I was an adult, so I was over all of the major developmental hoops by the time my parents split up. I was outside a lot. I was basically raised on my grandparents' farm. I spent a lot of time over there. I spent so many hours outside and with horses and with farm animals and with dogs and cats and lizards and everything else under the sun. So my upbringing was probably very Appalachian. I was kind of a feral little mountain child, but it was good up until I hit about 13. When I became 13 years old, things just went downhill for me. And I don't know exactly why. It wasn't like anything on the outside was going wrong. I just got emo for some reason. I think I just logged into Tumblr and just changed the trajectory of my life. I would say then it was kind of hard to make friends just because I was really shy. I didn't really talk to anyone or want to talk to anybody. I was very much closed off and introverted. Kind of realized by then that I was just into different stuff and I was just assuming that people were going to think that I was weird. So a lot of the times I just didn't try. As for bullies, I got lucky because there was 2 things going on with me. A, I was super quiet, so a lot of the times I just flew under the radar. A lot of people didn't know that I was even there, knew my name, knew what was up, so I kind of got by easy with that just because I don't think a lot of people knew I even existed. Or B, I was kind of known for being the nice kid. If I was known at all, people knew me for being super nice and sweet, and so a lot of people didn't think I was a threat just because I was this super nice kid. So I didn't deal with a lot of bullying, but if you're asking for advice, know that these bullies are just projecting. They are absolutely wildly insecure and dealing with their own issues, and they're feeling miserable, therefore they want everyone around them to feel miserable. Because just think about it, someone who is truly happy and truly confident in themselves do not want to make other people feel bad. That is not even a thought in their minds. So a lot of the times, bullies are just people who feel bad themselves and want you to feel just as bad as they are, and they're probably more often than not jealous of you to some degree. And just be confident in yourself. I know that's easier said than done, but if you love yourself, then it doesn't matter what other people say or think. Ned Bayou Official, hi Ned, what's up, commented 2 comments. First one saying, oh my gosh, happy B-Day, I will bake you a chlorine cake. Thank you so much. I think that would be kind of cool if you were to make the cake like blue. I feel like that might be cool. Although chlorine, I don't know. I probably ingested enough pool water as a child that it probably won't affect me, but thank you so much, Ned. Ned's question is, do you like Doritos? Yes, I think Cool Ranch is my favorite, but I like all Doritos. I'll tell you one thing, I'll put you on something. This is my favorite snack, and every time I talk about this, people look at me like I'm crazy, but just hear me out, alright, and try it for yourself. You get a Dorito, alright? You put a little spread of cream cheese on top of the Dorito. And then what you're going to do is put a pickle on top of that. So you got a Dorito, cream cheese, and a pickle. Put all of that together and eat it. And it's the best thing you will ever experience. It's my favorite snack in the entire world. And I know you're like, that's insane. Why would you do that? But it tastes great. The texture is great because you got a little bit of crunch in there and you got the little cream cheese in there. It's like texture heaven. It tastes good, I promise. And if you ever try this, let me know how it goes. Happy early birthday. Thank you so much. What's your favorite 21 Pilots song ever? Car radio. Team Tyler or Josh? I already kind of answered this one. Okay. When I first got into the clique, I was absolutely a Tyler laner, which is weird to say, but I was so in Tyler's lane. Then I became like the biggest Josh Dunn stan on the planet. And I'm not just saying that. You know, when I was Tiny Dunn, that was my whole shtick. My whole thing was being a Josh Dunn stan. Now, I feel like I appreciate them both. I don't know. I feel bad for choosing. I feel like I'm still a Josh Dunn laner, but Tyler Here Lately, I think I'm going back to my roots. Tyler Here Lately is creeping up in my brain. Hardest 21 Pilots drum beats. I feel like Choker's kind of crazy. There's just a lot going on. I would say that one's kind of difficult. I would say Levitate is also pretty challenging. So yeah, Choker and Levitate. Happy birthday, thank you. Do you have a favorite book or series? I would say my favorite book for the longest time was The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I would still think that remains true. I was probably more into it back a couple years ago, but I still like it. I just love the way Donna Tartt writes, and I like rooting for an objectively bad person. When you make a flawed character the main character, it's interesting to root for him because you know that he's going to do bad, you know he's going to mess up, but there's still a part of you that wants it to work out or just wants to see him okay just because he is the main character, and I think that's more interesting than a perfect character. Don't trust a perfect person, and don't trust a song that's flawless. OMG, happy birthday. Thank you, Pink Lemonade. I see you all the time in my comment section. I appreciate you. Do you have a favorite movie, and what about it makes it your favorite? Okay, so I chose my favorite movie as a child, and I never cared to change it ever again. My favorite movie is The Lion King. At the time, it was my favorite movie just because lions are my favorite animal, and that's a really basic child reason. Oh, I like lions, and this movie's about lions, therefore it's my favorite movie. The Lion King is still my favorite movie now just because of the nostalgia of it all, but also it's one of the main reasons why I draw the way that I do. It's the reason why I draw cartoons and why everything that I draw looks a little bit like Disney. I got in trouble in middle school just because I drew too much like Disney, I swear. The teacher talked to me after class. He made me wait after class and gave me this whole lecture about how I was in trouble because I drew too much like Disney. And I'm sitting there the whole time, I'm like, how is this an issue? Why are you upset that I'm drawing like Disney. You know how many people love Disney movies? You know how many people love that animation and that art style? And you're mad that I draw like that? Honestly, he's probably just jealous. He's probably just jealous that I mastered the Disney style and he didn't. So yeah, because of The Lion King and a bunch of Disney movies at the time, especially The Lion King, my art style looks the way that it does. And here's a picture of Simba that I drew just to illustrate that point. This one's a really deep question. What do you generally love to do or love as a person or life in general? What are some deep stuff that you find in life great based on what you love? I don't know, LOL. Having such a deep question and then ending it with like IDK, LOL, is just so funny to me. Okay, wow, we're really getting into it. We discussed my childhood, so let's get into me as a person and what I like about life. Instead of giving you like a big long list of things, I would say my favorite thing about life is being able to create. I love making music, I love making art and drawing pictures, I love writing stories and coming up with characters. I love the whole idea of taking something that exists in my head and making it a tangible thing, whether that be something you listen to or look at or read. I just really love that process. And I find it so interesting that across all cultures, and pretty much since the beginning of our existence, I mean, cavemen were painting in caves, literally, there's been some form of art. There's just something so innately human about wanting to express ourselves and wanting to create art. It's probably why I hate AI so much, just because I think art and being human are just so innate. They go hand in hand, and I just hate AI, but that's a different thing entirely. So yeah, I think that's what I like. I like that we are able to create and express ourselves in so many different ways, and I like that I am a creative person. And some deep stuff based off of that is that we can literally create our own realities to some degree. Of course, we can get into the whole 21 Pilots-esque of it all and using art to get yourself out of a bad situation, but you can also create your reality to some degree. A lot of what we go through, a lot of our emotions is just mindset. And obviously we can't help what happens to us, but we can always decide how we want to react to that and decide how we want to interpret that and decide how that's going to change us. And so mindset is everything. I know people who have absolutely nothing, but they're not poor. You know, they are rich in other ways, and I think that's a really cool thing. I hope that was deep enough for you. Can you eat French fries? Not even do I like French fries, just can I? Yes, I have the ability to eat French fries, and I do abuse that power whenever I can. I do love French fries. I like the crunchy ones though. Not really the soggy ones, the thick soggy ones. I'm not into that. But like the crunchy ones, I'm into that. Last question here. What are you going to do now that you've earned your master's in psychology? Other than keep on drumming, of course. Okay, so here's the thing. The master's in psychology is not on lock just yet. Okay, if all goes well, I'll graduate in the spring. So we're basically kind of technically already there. But that is a really good question that I'm still trying to figure out. At the moment, I'm just going wherever the wind takes me, really. I've thought about being a professor, and I think this YouTube channel has helped. There's been some of you that said that I explain things well, and that's really, really good. And I think this YouTube channel and explaining stupid lore on the internet has helped me absolutely lecture in a way and take a bunch of information and then just kind of translate that into a way that's easy for a bunch of people to understand. So I feel like I have practice being a professor through this YouTube account, weirdly. And so professor was what I was going with for the longest time, but then I got into research and I got into volunteer work, and I've really found myself through that as well. I have worked with people who have experienced DV, and now I am the social media manager of a crisis center who deals with rape victims. And obviously those things are intense. Obviously, but you hear some amazing things as well, and you see some incredible kindness, and I love being a part of it. I love giving back to my community. I love being involved with my community. And yes, you see some sad things, but you see some really great things too, and I would love being more involved with those things. Okay, so I hope you know a little bit more about me on my birthday, the day that's about me. Let's talk about me. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. I appreciate you. This is not just a day about me. Okay, I want to celebrate you guys as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you are new here, welcome. Consider liking and subscribing to join the Groovy Graveyard. We're fun over here, I promise. Shout out to my patrons over on Patreon, and I will see you in the next one.